Good evening. Today is Friday, January 30th. The video is supposed to be out today. Maybe you're watching it today. Maybe you're watching it tomorrow on Saturday. If the upload takes that long, I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm recording today on Friday, though, like I said I would, but video may or may not be out today. You guys voted for it. We're hitting legs. We're also going to talk about loving yourself, how some people say it. You have to love yourself before you can love other people. You need to learn how to love yourself, and then you'll be able to express that and give that to other people. That's the only way you can do it. Probably not. Jesus told us, all right, I can't remember the verse, but Jesus told us that, or maybe not Jesus. God probably told us that we are to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. Why did he say that specifically? Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Well, we already know how to love ourselves. It's in our DNA. It's in our sin nature that we already know how to love ourselves. That is the first thing we learn. When we're babies, we cry and we cry and we cry, and we get whatever we want doing that. Whatever we want, we cry for it, and we probably get it, right? That can be said about teenagers and even younger kids as well, and maybe even some adults probably. You know, you whine and you complain, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Me, I need what I want, right? That's a lot of people's mindset. And if that isn't loving yourself, I don't really know what is. You know, there's this conversation about mental health, and I'm not going to get into that. You know, some people, they say they'll hate themselves, but that's only one piece of the puzzle. Mental health is only one piece of the puzzle. Your mental health does not decide wholly whether you love yourself or not. I can be selfish, play video games all day, ignore my wife, and hate myself and have bad mental health. But in that, I'm still doing what I want to do, putting my needs above my wife's and what God commands me to do. I asked my wife, I told her, I asked her, what do you think about loving yourself? And do you have anything to add to basically what I just said now? And she said, yeah. So what she said, and I completely agree with this, she said that you and me are called to be, if we're Christians, if you're a Christian, if I'm a Christian, we are called to be different from the world. What does the world do? What does the world say? The world says, like we just talked about, it's all about you and what your needs are. Once you figure out how to love yourself and what you need, you can then give that to other people, right? You can start loving other people because of that. We as Christians can't buy into that. We can't buy into that ideology. Let me tell you exactly why. If we buy into that, what we are saying is that Jesus's example, God's example, doesn't matter. God already gave us the blueprint for loving people. Jesus already gave us the blueprint for loving each other. Love your wife as God loved the church. Us being the church. God loved the church so much that he gave his only begotten Son that he could save us wretched sinners and give us his grace. That sacrificial love We already have that example. So why in the world would we need to figure out ourselves what love is and how to love ourselves? We already have the example. God's given it to us. Us humans, we wrecked the world. We screwed everything up. And God still gave us a way out because he loves us so much. If you're going to take away anything from this YouTube video, here's what I want you to take away. The world doesn't have the answers. Therapy, forget about it. If you have a mental health problem, the answer is in the Bible. Not necessarily you looking in the Bible, you're going to be able to find it yourself. But biblical counseling is the way to heal yourself, to help yourself. Now, there's something to say about chemical imbalances, and I'm not an expert, so I'm not going to get into that. But, seasonal depression, anger, things like that, things that make you hate yourself, or so you think, biblical counseling is the answer. Find a Bible-believing church, go there, or if you already go to the one, go to an elder, go to a deacon, go to some authority, and that's something you need to talk with them about. And counseling is the way to help you get through that. Don't love yourself. Put yourself last. How can we apply this to marriage? All right? If you're a husband, if you're a wife, your key takeaway here should be to outserve your spouse. Well, how do you do that? This isn't performative. I'm not doing it because I said I'm going to do it, and I'm not doing it just because it's a performance and, this is just what I do. I'm doing this because God commanded it. And it is what my conscience, what my spirit should be craving. If your wife does something nice for you, outserve her, or do your very best to outserve her, and outdo it. Do something nicer for her. She cleaned X amount, you clean X amount plus 2. Go above, and then she should try and do the same for you. Is that going to happen every time? Absolutely not. The world has this saying when it comes to your goals, reach for the mountain, you might not get it, but you'll get somewhere in the middle. It's the same thing here. If that's your standard, if that's your goal, and you don't hit it, you're probably going to get somewhere in the middle or higher, and that's going to just put you guys in an even better spot than you were. This is something we try to apply to ourselves, me and Chloe, and it's wonderful. It's done amazing things for our marriage. When we first got married, I was a little punk. I would just do whatever I want. I'd play video games wherever I wanted. I'd go to the gym whenever I wanted. I'd work all the time at home still, which it was fine. But that was me prioritizing that over all my wife's needs. All of them. And she needed me. She needed me to unpack boxes because we just moved into our new house after our honeymoon. She needed me for a ton of things. And I put a ton of other things over her needs. And that put us in a sort of rock bottom situation where I didn't want to serve her, so she didn't want to serve me. And whether that's wrong or right, it doesn't matter. I'm the leader of the household. I was setting the example. So maybe this is more about for husbands than wives, but set the example. Set a high example. Set a really high example. If you don't hit that example, you're going to hit somewhere in the middle. And that's just going to put you guys in a great spot together. All right, I'm going to hop in here. We're going to the gym, guys. We're hitting legs today per the vote in the poll on my story from last week. So I'll see you in a second. Thanks for watching our little intro. Let's go. Hope you enjoyed that. My second set of RDLs was kind of scuffed. My strap frickin' screwed me, but it's alright. That is a new exercise for me. I only just started doing those on the Smith machine because I was doing them on the just with a barbell, and man, I couldn't, because I can't take a couple steps back with that weight. My ankles won't let me. All right, I gotta do a deadlift first, and that's one rep, and it's like from the floor like that. Takes a lot out of you, dude. So leg extensions, probably a PR. I need to start doing plate loaded because I've got that pin loaded maxed out. I'm not gonna get a freaking gym pin. There's no point in me getting a gym pin. I just think that's a little goofy unless you're just way more jacked than me and way stronger than me. So I'm going to do the plate loaded. Going to keep progressing those RDL/SLDL on the Smith. That was what? I'm going to say this number. I'm going to say the Smith machine bar is a 45. Only because that's just how I do the math and it's easier for me. I don't track PRs as bragging rights when I'm doing this kind of work. I just, if it's a PR, it's a PR because I did more than last time and I'm progressing. That's all I care about. So I'm going to track it as a 45, and that was 315 plus 10 plus 10 plus 50. You've probably got it before me, 355. 365, 375. Right. No, not right. That'd be 385. Okay. Not bad. 385 for like 5 and then 2. It would have been 4 probably, but 2 reps in reserve is fine. Yeah, then hip thrusts. 5 plates for 5 and 4. That was a PR. That was fun. That felt really good. I'm gonna max that machine out soon enough. I don't know if there's a heavier option. We'll see. But that machine is fun. I love that machine. I just started doing that machine probably 2 months ago. It was good. It was really good. Then that leg press. I just like that leg press because after all those sets of glute, hamstrings, all that, dude, I'm cooked. I'm cooked and I gotta switch it up. So I do that leg press. It's a lot less fatiguing. It's pretty much all quads except for the bottom where I let it sit, like my hips come back and I let it sit there for a second. That's fine. But it's probably like 85% quads, and it's good. It's good. I was probably what I do, like 3? I don't remember. Between 3 and 5 reps, and felt good. Then calves. I need to figure out what I want to do for calves because that machine, I was maxing it out, right? But stability is the issue with that machine. Well, how is stability the issue with that machine? Isn't that machine probably the most stable calf machine you can use? Yes, except my stupid little feet, seriously, they are pretty dang small. Don't make any jokes, all right? And gosh dang, they just slip all over the place. I can't get any traction, no matter what pair of shoes I wear, barefoot, my squat shoes, these New Balances, my other New Balances, any pair of Air Maxes. I seriously cannot get a good grip on the bottom of that machine. I always slip. Like, if I wasn't slipping, I could probably max out the machine, do between 10 and 15 reps, but I'm stuck between 8 and 10 because I keep slipping and I have to readjust, and that fatigues me like a ton. But it's good. We got the workout done. I did everything that was planned. It was good. It was good. Recording in the gym is really hard for me. It is so awkward for me. Obviously it's just, I need to make that callous of not really caring what other people think of me in that way. Obviously, I want to be considerate, which I am. If you look back at those, very rarely was someone in the frame. That was on purpose. I really try not to get anybody in the frame at all. When I start it, I put it there. 90% of the time, there's not going to be somebody there, unless it's just completely unavoidable. But I use the fast aperture. I've got the 2.8. Sometimes I even use the 1.4, just so that background is blurry and all you really can focus on is me. And like, even if you see somebody in the background, usually their face is going to be blurred, so it's good. It works. I don't watch these clips. I don't know if the tracking maybe got people that were walking away. I hope not. That's a little awkward, but we'll see. I'm still trying to figure out the camera settings for videos on the tripod. It's a new camera for me, and we'll get it worked out. I think we're in a good spot. Trying to get some foreground in there, make it look nice for you guys. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of our talk about, loving yourself. But yeah, this is Faith in the Gym episode 4, maybe 5. I can't remember. I think it's 4. I think this is episode 4. And yeah. Love yourself last. Don't love yourself first. Love God. Your love for God will overflow. It's like, let's say there's cups, right? Shout out Pastor Chad if you're watching this. Name drop. Sorry if you don't want me to mention your name. Let's say there's cups, okay? There's a cup at the top. Under it, there's another cup. Under it, there's another cup. So your love for Jesus, you fill up that cup. Your spiritual life, not performative, not, oh, how many times you pray a day, how many times you blah, 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 blah. Praying's important. I'm not saying praying is bad, obviously, but it's not. If I pray 20 times a day, then I am more spiritually full than the next person. That's not what makes you more spiritually full, okay? Spiritually fill your cup in a non-performative way, all right? That cup will overflow onto your spouse, all right? That cup fills up, that cup will overflow onto your children. So your love for Christ will overflow onto your spouse. Your love for your spouse will overflow onto your children. That's the order we should love. We put God's wants and commands above our spouse's wants. We put our spouse's wants and needs above our children's wants and needs. And if you do it in that order, that is the roadmap to a successful marriage, as well as raising good, God-fearing children using a good example. Something, I might say this, and in 15 years, somebody might watch this and say, wow, he really thought that. But I am confident that the way me and Chloe are going to raise our children, that these years are going to be the hardest while they're little. And we're going to raise them properly, hopefully. And by God's grace, when they're teenagers, it'll just be picking fruit, because that's how we raise them, and that's the example we set for them. That is our goal. All right. Thank you for watching. If you made it to the end, comment, let me know. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys a lot. Hopefully you got something out of this video. Notice I did mostly between 3 and 8 reps on everything. That's the rep range I recommend, and I think you should stick to that all the time. This is getting clipped. I forgot to go to Walmart and get groceries.